Good afternoon. I'm Janice Marie Johnson, the commissioned lay minister here at Community Church. And I welcome you on behalf of our ministry team, our staff, and all lay leaders. It is good to be together, both in person and online. Community Church is a multiracial, multicultural, multi-generational congregation with a vision and commitment to build a world grounded in equity and inclusion. With me today is Jerry Brown, our director of music, Darnell White, our musician in residence, our talented choir, the Omega dancers, Reverend Jude Geiger, and our Minister for Community Engagement, and Reverend Peggy Clarke, our Senior Minister. Community Church is in transition. We've sold our church building and are in the process of finding another in this neighborhood. We are guests here for which we are grateful, even if this beautiful space isn't perfectly reflective of our theology. Children are always welcome during worship. Feel free to move about in the space. The sound of babies crying or children fidgeting is a beautiful part of being in community. Today's service is our annual flower communion. Now please rise in body or spirit and join me in our opening hymn, Turn the World Around, number 1074 in the blue hymnal.
Good afternoon. It's good to be with all of you today for our annual Flower Communion service. This is one of my favorites. I love the symbols, I love the flowers, I love June. It just all works for me. Let's start with our call to worship. Just like flowers, people come in a variety of colors, shapes, and sizes. Some of us grow in bunches. Some of us grow better alone. Some of us are small and are cupped inward, and some of us spread ourselves out really wide. Some of us are dried and tougher than we appear. Some of us are still in bud. Some of us grow low to the ground, and some of us stretch toward the sun. Some of us feel like weeds sometimes. Some of us carry seeds sometimes. Some of us are prickly sometimes. Some of us smell sometimes. All of us are beautiful. What a bouquet of people we are here in this sanctuary. It is so good to worship and to celebrate with all of you. And we're going to stay seated for today while we light our chalice, but we are going to do the movements. So let us sing our chalice lighting.
We light this candle, the flame of our heritage. May it ignite hope in our hearts, in our community, and in the world. Now please join me in our unison affirmation. Unto the Church Universal, which is the depository of all ancient wisdom and the school of all modern thought, which recognizes in all prophets a harmony, in all scriptures a unity, and through all dispensations a continuity, which abjures all that separates and divides, and always magnifies humanity and peace, which seeks truth in freedom, justice in love, and individual discipline in social duty, and which shall make of all persons one beloved community. Unto this church and unto all its members, known and unknown throughout the world, we pledge the allegiance of our hands and hearts.
I invite you to join with me in reading our land acknowledgement in unison. We are gathered on the unceded land of the Lenape peoples. We acknowledge the Lenape community, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations. This acknowledgement demonstrates a commitment to dismantling the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism. I invite us all now to make a joyful noise and greet your neighbor in whatever COVID safety way feels good for you. Glowing. Okay. I invite us all back to our seats. Hey, Zach. In a moment, we'll hear the sound of the chime bringing us back to our center. Following that, we'll have a time of silence, knowing that with all the wiggles and sneezes and coughs of the world, it's not about the perfection of silence, but the intention. Join with me now. Today's prayer comes from the writings of Unitarian minister Claire Thorin Feingold. Let us give thanks for a bouquet of people. We give thanks for children like tulips and iris. They multiply around us, making the world ever more filled with color, beauty, and new life. May we bless them as they replant themselves ever further from us, knowing that they need their own space to grow into. We give thanks for generous friends as constant in bloom as echinacea, and whose gifts lift up our body and spirit. We give thanks for feisty friends and as indomitable as geraniums, and for continuous friends who, like bittersweet and ivy, hold on and never let go, can never be gotten rid of. For crotchety friends, as prickly as rose bushes, their beauty a secret that is only discovered through careful gardening. For surprising friends who at first glance seem dour and then blossom into joy as quickly as forsythia. For funny friends, silly as snapdragons, and serious friends, complex as chrysanthemums. For comfortable friends, their gentle presence as soothing as the sweet smell of lilacs. For stormy weather friends who stand by us in hard times, like lily of the valley that cannot be deterred by shade or shadow. For old friends nodding like sunflowers in the evening time, and young friends coming on fast as flocks. For friends as unpretentious as dogwood, as persistent as pachysandra, as steadfast as azalea, and who, like snowdrops, can be counted on to see you through winter and remind you that spring always comes. For loving friends who wind around us like wisteria and embrace us despite our blights, wilts, and witherings. And finally, for forget-me-not friends, gone but never forgotten. Their beauty lies on in our memories and hearts. For this bouquet of people who brighten our lives, each in their own way, we give thanks. Amen, and blessed be. And invite all to remain seated and join with our hymn number 1008, 1008, our teal hymnal, Heart is in a Holy Place.
A Blessing by James Wright. Thank you, Reverend Peggy. Just off the highway to Rochester, Minnesota, twilight bounds softly forth on the grass, and the eyes of those two Indian ponies darken with gladness. They have come gladly out of the willows to welcome my friend and me. We step over the barbed wire into the pasture where they've been grazing all day, alone. They ripple tensely. They can hardly contain their happiness that we have come. They bow shyly as wet swans. They love each other. At home once more, they begin munching the young tops of spring in the darkness. I would like to hold the slenderer one in my arms, for she has walked over to me and nuzzled my left hand. She is black and white. Her mane falls wild on her forehead, and a light breeze moves me to caress her long ear that is as delicate as the skin over a girl's wrist. Suddenly, I realize that if I stepped out of my body, I would break into blossom. Now our hymn, Let It Be a Dance, number 311.
Good morning, church. Can you hear me okay? Yep. All right, hold on a second. I need help. I need some help. We're going to do a dance because this song is called Let It Be a Dance. This is the dance where we're going to use some flowers. Put those ribbon sticks away. Now, everybody in this group of humans here celebrating the sacred, if you already have a flower, you're invited to dance. If you want a flower, we will get you a flower. We have plenty. No? We can't do that? Okay. So we have a song where we're going to be asking you to come and join us if you'd like. And when we get to the last verse of our song, that's when the dancers will come into the aisle and we'll invite you to join us. If you want to join us in the aisle, you can. If you want to sit down in your seat and move, you can. If you want to stand up in your pew, you can. There's no wrong way to dance. So here's the dance. We're going to learn it right now. You see this? Vanity, can you come to the front? See this gorgeous human right here? This is Miss Vanity. We're going to follow Miss Vanity. And the last verse of our song says, feel the sunshine and the rain. So I invite everybody to reach up and feel the sunshine and the rain maybe falling on your cheeks. And then the words of the song say, share the laughter and bear the pain. So you're going to hug yourself because we need that for laughter and for pain. And then the lyrics say, round and round we go again. So if you're standing up, you can turn around. If you're deciding to dance sitting down, you can make something of your body go around. Maybe a finger, maybe a shoulder. Round and round we go again. Let it be a dance. So with that, maybe our extra special dancers that have practiced could wait right here at the front so that you're ready to dance with us. Thanks in advance for dancing.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to adjust our mic just a little bit. Oh, yeah, there we go. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Megan Moncrief, and I am the religious education assistant working here with Jill. So you might see me coming through on the way to on my way to the loft on a lot of Sundays. So I just want to say thank you to everyone here I have met for being so warm and welcoming in my first months here. And I want to say I'm looking forward to meeting those I haven't gotten to meet yet. So I am going to jump in with a poem that spoke to me about growth and the changing of the seasons and transformation. It's by Sarah Teasdale, and it's called May Night. The spring is fresh and fearless, and every leaf is new. The world is brimmed with moonlight, the lilac brimmed with dew. Here in the moving shadows, I catch my breath and sing. My heart is fresh and fearless, and overbrimmed with spring. I'm going to turn it over to Jill for a minute.
Good afternoon. Flower communion is my favorite, and not only because I like ready metaphors, that's been my favorite thing all morning, but because I love flowers. Flowers are why I come to church, because I imagine we're all flowers. We grow in this place where inherent worth and dignity is recognized. We grow in this place where differences are a cause for celebration. We're here all in our unique glory to act, react, and interact with one another in the spirit of interdependence. How great is that? Here, we lay gently forward our vulnerabilities, our softest and most precious petals, and we learn to trust the winds of change, because change, after all, is constant, and faith lives in that knowing.
Finally, we have a poem from one of our kids who unfortunately wasn't feeling well and couldn't be here today, but she gave this to us to read to you. This is by Annabelle, who is 8 now and who has been part of this community since she was 5. This is a poem she wrote called I Am Summer. I am a soft summer breeze drifting through the air. I am a star growing its first planet. I am a caterpillar turned chrysalis, turned butterfly. I am a cloud drifting softly through the air. We are like spiders weaving a web to connect us all. And with that, I leave you to ponder the mysteries of the world. Thank you.
You all know Annabelle, don't you? She's here a lot. Do you know her? I hope so. So theoretically, this is kind of the transition service where we sort of move away from our regular program year and we move into our summer services. So this is a really good time for us to express some gratitude, some appreciation for at least some of the people in the room. Community church is, among other things, a voluntary association. We have plenty of people who get paid to work here, but really volunteers are the lifeblood of this church. Without them, we don't have a board, we don't have a council, we have no committees, we don't have worship associates, we don't have greeters or ushers, we have nothing. Everybody here is needed, which is wonderful and sometimes confounding. So as part of our ritual today, I would like to offer a sign of gratitude to all those people who keep this place running. If you are a member of any team doing any of the work of this church, if you have participated in bringing food to a potluck or taking pictures for our social media, I'm looking at you, if you have ever greeted a member or helped someone get where they need to be, if you have ever reached out to somebody because they were lonely or volunteered your time in any way for this church, could you please rise up or at least raise your hand, but come to your feet if you're able. Come to your feet if you are able. I was gonna say let's blow them kisses. Kisses. Mwah. Mwah. You are why we are here. We bow in gratitude to all of those people who make this place run. We are because of you, all of you. Now, we also have a few people who maybe do more than other people. Today, I'm going to pay a little bit of extra attention to George Garland. Because George Garland is such a person, and we are in transition. George is no longer in some of the positions he's held. Since I've been here, which is all of 4 years, he has been the chair of the board, the treasurer, the chair of the search committee, the chair of the finance committee, a member of the shelter committee, and now the chair of the shelter committee, and most recently is on the personnel committee. This is 7 positions he's held, critical positions in this church. George, can I ask you to come over this way? And Jonathan, can I invite you to come and say some nice things about your predecessor?
So I always knew that George was very active in this church. I've been coming here for more than 15 years, and George was always one of those people who were doing things. But I didn't really get to know exactly what he was doing until I became chair of the board. And I've been thinking about what adjectives would best describe George's enormous contributions to the church and the board. And I came across, first of all, diligent, which sounds like a very worthy adjective, like diligent, as opposed to heroic or indefatigable. But George, when it comes to the treasurer, when you're doing a multi-million-dollar property deal and you're having a COVID pandemic, being diligent is really very, very important. Doing all the things that need to be done, reading all the complicated documents that need to be read, and being diligent in the interests of the congregation and membership is huge service. So he's been very diligent. Also, in fact, heroic, indefatigable diligence probably describes it best. But beyond, we still got 2 adjectives left. The other is, I forgot, hang on, I'm going to consult my notes, but it's a good adjective. Wise, that's it. I knew it was something important. George has been enormously wise. So when I came onto the board, I really didn't understand everything at all. I still don't. But George was a constant source of wise counsel to us. And in dealing with all the membership, thinking of how things would work or wouldn't work, he would be there on Zoom with a large furry cat on his shoulder, being wise and calm and patient, and just helping me as the board chair help guide things along, and communicating with the board a sort of sense of wisdom and experience, which is also invaluable. And finally, loving, which is not what you might automatically assume when you think of George, but he's actually incredibly loving. And I looked up the official, at least Christian definition of loving in 1 Corinthians, and here it is. So if you think, love suffereth long and is kind and envieth not. Well, that's definitely George to begin with. Love vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up. Is George puffed up? No, absolutely not. So that's good. Does not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not its own, is not easily provoked, and thinketh no evil. Generally, I give him that one too. Rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth. Yep. And my favorite, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. And that is definitely George. So on my account, on behalf of the board and on behalf of all our members, I want to say a big, huge thank you for George's work, what he's done and what he continues to do. May he long bless us with his diligence, his wisdom, and his love.
So as soon as it became clear that George was stepping off the board and then off, no longer as chair of finance, I thought, well, he has some time now, right? So then I asked him to be on personnel, right? It wasn't going to go for long with his doing nothing, right? As much as these are phenomenal people, and this church absolutely functions and is because of our volunteers, we also, from time to time, get to celebrate people who work here. When a person works for Community Church of New York, they commit to the mission at least as much as the members do. They devote full-time hours, right? They devote all of their hours of the week after week, year after year, to moving our mission and our vision forward. We at Community Church have been lucky not only to have some truly talented people on our staff, but to have a few of them working here for a very, very long time. So I would like to ask Anthony Taylor and Jerry Brown to please come forward. And while they're walking, Jerry Brown started here in 1990, which is 33 years ago. We actually missed his 30th anniversary because we were in lockdown. And Anthony Taylor started here this month is exactly 30 years. So we have decided that after 30 years, it would be nice if we said thank you. I was going to say something about them, but maybe this is all we need. I have, on behalf of the congregation, these were made by Jody, signed by all of you. We say to you for your many, many years of service, thank you, thank you, thank you. You can go back. I was going to say nice things about you, but they've been clapping and cheering. So let us rise in body or in spirit and sing together, Building a New Way, number 1017 in the Teal hymnal. we have come to flower communion. I think that there are a good number of people in this room who don't know what flower communion is, including, by the way, my own son, who asked me on the way down here today. And I'm sure he's not alone. There are probably a lot of people who don't know. So I'm going to tell you the story of flower communion. Flower communion was founded by Norbert Capek, who was born June 3rd, 1870. He was born in Bohemia into the Roman Catholic Church, but he had trouble with some of their dogma, and he left and he became a Baptist. And in the role as a Baptist, he went door to door. And the point was to try and convert people to his faith. But what he got to do in going door to door to talk to people about their faith was to find out all the different things that people believed. Everybody was Catholic, but they believed and needed and wanted spiritually so many different things. And after all those conversations, he realized that there were many paths to truth and that no one church really had a corner on it. He started looking for a faith that was more expansive, more inclusive, a faith that could celebrate all of that diversity of thought. In the early part of the 20th century, Capek and his family, having moved to the United States, found a Unitarian church which fit their faith perfectly. Capek loved its optimism, which reflected his own disposition. He loved his faith so much, he became a Unitarian minister, and in 1921, he went back to his homeland and started a Unitarian church. Free, liberal religion was unusual and refreshing. The Unitarian Church in Prague, with 3,200 members, was the largest Unitarian congregation in the world and still holds that record. And if you're interested, Community Church of New York holds the record for being the third largest Unitarian church in the world and the first largest in the community church movement. But some 8,000 Czechs considered themselves Unitarian as a result of Capek's evangelical spirit and message of universal hope. As much as his people loved this freedom of thought and the use of reason, they were craving something more spiritual. On June 4th, 1923, 100 years ago last Sunday, Reverend Norbert Capek created flower communion. The idea was that each person would bring a flower to church and would put it in a vase. The minister would bless the flowers, and then every person would pick a flower different from the one they brought. In this way, every person knows they are necessary to form a bouquet, that our individual selves, when held together in community, create something gorgeous, that the whole is not the same when the individuals aren't part of it. And then after bringing ourselves, we take with us a gift from the community that leaves the church just as we carry our faith wherever we go. Reverend Capek's church celebrated flower communion every June, as we do here. When the Nazis took Czechoslovakia, they started attending his church. Now, when I say attending, what I mean is they hovered around in the back. And they hovered, listening to hear if they might find something that opposed fascism. It's possible they did. In 1940, they arrested him. He was actually arrested on the charges of listening to foreign broadcasts. They arrested him, and they sent him to Dachau. And when he was there, Reverend Capek I just learned this, took to ministering to other prisoners. And he brought flower communion to the Nazi concentration camp. He sent people out into the fields right around where they were to look for flowers. And sometimes they could find some dandelions, but more often they would bring back sticks and blades of grass and rocks, and they would lay them down together. It was, he told them, enough. The survivors of Dachau remember him and his spirit of inclusion. When the world was contracting, Reverend Capek's spirit was expanding. That is our faith. In 1942, Reverend Capek was killed for his faith. His witness to truth, his faith in the power of the human spirit, and his willingness to become a martyr in service of our shared ideals lives on in all of us. Flower Communion also lives on, celebrated every year all over the world. Unitarians this month in the Philippines, in Scotland, in India, in Transylvania, in Latvia, Sri Lanka, in Uganda, and in Pakistan are all celebrating the 100th anniversary of Flower Communion. This celebration of a wide range of human expression and of spirit. In the spirit of unity in diversity, of optimism and hope for our collective liberation, and in the spirit of bearing witness to a world of both pain and terrific beauty, we bring our flowers to our final service in June to share with each other. And then we leave with our flowers, bringing our faith and the spirit of love everywhere we go. We are going to share our flowers. And it's occurring to me that it's been a really busy week, and Darnell and I didn't talk. So Darnell, my friend who I love so much, could you play a little something while we do this? Thanks. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask, is there anyone here who would be willing to help hand out flowers? Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 people, 6. I got 6 people, thank you. Here's what I need. Yep, I got you. 7. What I'm gonna ask you to do, if you're willing, you're gonna come up and you're gonna take some flowers. And then you're going to gift them to the other people in the congregation. Each gift is an offering of love. Each gift is an offering of faith. Each gift comes from all of us collectively, and it, I am hoping, will be what you receive as you move from here after this service into the world. May these flowers be the spirit of our faith. May they bring to all of us the power we need to bear witness to what we know to be true. And may they embody us as individuals and our absolute beauty when we are together. If you're willing to come and help, please do. have flowers? Everyone? We have more. Everyone in the back, you all have flowers? Okay. May we all go from here to be the beauty the world so desperately needs. And now we're going to sing our closing song, I'm on My Way, number 116 in the gray hymnal.
Okay, everybody, this is going to be ribbon stick time. Get ready.
Woo! Yeah. So life at Community Church is busy, whether we are online or in person. It is our hope that wherever you are, and in whatever way you're comfortable engaging in the mission and ministry of this church, we've provided opportunities for you. If you're streaming this service live and would like to join others for fellowship, click the link on our webpage at 3 p.m., well, in a few minutes, to enter our Zoom room. For everyone's safety, cameras do need to be on. After worship today, please come to the apartment in 10 Park Avenue to share a light meal and fellowship. We'll gather on the stairs and walk over for those who don't know where to go. All are invited on Tuesday, June 13th, to participate in a training on radical inclusion with CB. Gather from 5:30 to 7 in Reverend Jude's Zoom room, 212-683-0011. On June 17th, Saturday, June 17th, there's a super summer circle supper. Whew, at George Garland and Polly Francini's home in Ossining, New York. Please sign up in the back after this worship service to attend. Next Sunday, June 18th, we're celebrating Juneteenth. Do join us for a powerful service and for some wonderful food and fellowship afterwards. We are a 7-day church and have programs running every day of the week. You can find more information on the program on our website. Our ushers are going to pass a plate for our collection. If you're new here, please let the plate go by with no pressure to give. We're grateful for your presence. All gifts are accepted in gratitude.
In your program is our chalice extinguishing. Thank you. Let's read it together. Knowing how quickly the flame of truth may be extinguished, how easily the chalice of fellowship broken, let us be vigilant in faith, keep peace in our hearts, and make care for one another the watchword of our lives together. So our light goes out everywhere into the world. Our light goes out everywhere. Healing and hope are needed. Let us go in peace to love and serve the world and one another. It's good to be with you. Amen.
I see a new day coming round, coming round. See a beautiful sun over the hill now. Yeah. I've been looking around, and it seems that I found the sky is no longer gray. There's gonna be a new day. Yeah, yeah. A new day is coming. The sun over the hill. Lift your head and sing. Let your voices ring. We have joy. We have joy. My path is brighter than ever. My mind is determined and strong. Though my path is not smooth, I'm determined to move. Not much longer, I pray. There's gonna be a new day. Yeah, yeah. A new day is coming. I can see the sun over the hill. Lift your head and sing. Let your voices ring. We have joy. We have joy. Sometimes you hold on to a love that's gone. Feel gifted. You've been lifted. Sometimes I can't see the light in front of me. Now it shines so bright. There's a new day. A new day's coming. I can see the sun over the hill. Lift your head and sing. Let your voice